Hello friends, welcome to Kiss Up Cards, Keep It Simple Stamping Up. I'm Marianne and I'm an independent Stampin' Up consultant with Stamping Up, and I'm bringing to you Fun Fold Fridays. So I have a really neat fun fold for you tonight. So last week on Easter, I showed you an easel card, and that was quite simple, no angles, nothing. But I've got an easel card with a twist. So tonight I'm going to show you how to make this easel card that lays flat, and then you twist it, and it's hard to do in the air, and it stands up like this. So you'll get to see me work at that and see how it all stands together. So I made this card. I made two cards. I did this one, and then I did this one, like a baby card, welcome baby, and then best wishes. Isn't that a beautiful display of a card? And it just shows your paper really nicely and your artwork. And so I'm going to bring those two cards to you, an easel card with a twist. Let's get to my stamping table. All right, down at my craft table, I've got my designer series paper and my cardstock. I'm working with Calypso Coral, Pale Papaya, and I'm grabbing from the storybook, Memories and Storybook paper, and I will be putting the houses on the main part, and then I'm going to use some of the ephemera to dress up the square that we're going to put on top. And we need a piece of cardstock that is 8.5 by 4.25. So you will be able to get 2 cards out of one piece of cardstock. And this makes a little smaller card, but it does fit in your envelope flat, but it packs a big punch. Now we're going to turn it, and we're going to score at 4.5. We'll do that on both cards. 4.25. I said 4.5, but it's 4.25. I did it correct, but it gave you the wrong measurements. And then what you want to do is go from the bottom. You want to score from the bottom. It almost didn't look like it was in half. Score from the bottom to the top and make sure the point is in the groove and that the score line at the bottom here is just at the groove. And it moved. There we go. And we're going to score that. And that's what's going to give it the twist. Let's do it on this card. And if you do it incorrectly, so let me show you. If I do it this way, just line it up. If I do it this way, and I'll show you what to do. I'll need that in a minute to cut the designer paper, but this is the one that I scored correctly. Get my bone folder out. Just burnish that so it lays nice, has a nice fold in it. This you're going to open up and fold to the center. And this is your easel card with a twist. It's going to stand up like this. So this is how you want it to open up. But this one I did the opposite way. So let's do this. Oh, this one I had cut this way. And no, this way. And so when I folded it in half, it opened up like this. So it's kind of really awkward instead of like this. So then all you need to do is do your card the other way, fold this to the center, and I've probably got you all twisted around. I hope not. I can get myself all twisted around. I am going to use the Memory Book Designer Series paper. I love it. It is one of my favorite packages. And I'm going to do a 4-inch square. So I'll just cut 4 inches off of here. And that leaves another good 4 inches there because it started out as a 12-inch piece. And then I'm going to make a 4-inch square. And another 4-inch square because I have two cards. And this 4-inch square I'm going to cut in half. But I'm going to lay it on my card. Now, if I cut it from this way to this way, it's not going to work. But if I cut from this way to this way, it's going to work. So that's why I tested on my card first. When I'm working with angles, that's what I have found has been to be really helpful for me, is putting my Designer Series paper on and figuring out where I'm going to cut that. So I'm going to cut that like this, rather than just guessing and going through lots of paper. There we go. So I've cut those in half. Okay. All right, let's do some gluing. So these two pieces will go on the card like this, or I could put them, I think I'll put them on the card like this because then I'll put a sentiment here and it'll sit on the, or it could sit like this, but I think I'm going to do it this way. You see how this does not work this way. If you had a non-directional piece of paper, you could flip it around, but this is directional. So I do need another 4-inch piece. I could flip it around, but I don't like the vegetables with the house. It's got different colors in it than what the house has. And then I need to cut this way. Now the front, I could make the mat in the orange, but I'm going to use the pale papaya to add just another bit of color. And this is going to be 4 inches. Oh, just a minute. I've got a piece right here. So let me use that piece first. Always use your smaller pieces first. Because the strip, there's not enough in the strip to do that. So I'm going to make a 4-inch square. So I need 2 of those. Now you can mat as much as you want. You could do an orange with the pale at 4 inches, then do a pale papaya at 3 3/4 and do your center then. I mean, the sky's the limit on this. So I'm going to grab some white. I'm going to put some white on there so I can build my characters. So now I need 3 3/4. Let's do 3 3/4 this way. Well, maybe this way. So it's a nice long piece. 3 3/4 and 3 3/4. What does that leave me with? 3 3/4. I love it when it works out. I can keep that for my other card I have over there. Now, what I want to do is build this with ephemera. And I have these ephemera that came with the Storybook Friends. I see that it had some of this blue in there, so I want to add that. So this has been the fun part, playing around with the ephemera. And then I thought, you know what? I'm going to put a little saying here, as well as there's going to be something here as well. So I thought, well, let's dress that up as much as we can. So I'm going, on the next one, I'm going to do a circle punch. So out of the Calypso Coral, I'm going to punch a circle, 2-inch circle. And then out of the white, I'm going to punch, this is a 1 3/4 inch circle. How that, never throw your scraps away. They always come in handy. So I have to find a sentiment for that. I'm going to glue this down. Okay, so let's get this solidified down, and I'm going to stamp something on this. All right, I'm using the Dragonfly Garden. This is an old set. It's no longer available. But I just want to show you that, you know, there is this flower here and For a True Friend. And I thought, well, I'm going to do something a little different. For this one where I had these little characters standing, I think what I'd like to do is just put this on the background. And I'm using Early Espresso. And just make it light. And just bring it off. And bring it down a bit, and then just let it sit on the card. Let the ink transfer to the paper. This is so, I could stamp like this all day long. It's so relaxing. So there we go with that. And then I'll arrange my little characters. And then with this one, I'm just going to do the top part of the flower just on here. And For a True Friend, I think I'll do that in the clips, in the Early Espresso, but I won't stamp off. For a True Friend. Just go la 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 la. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So this is going to go on here, and this is going to pop up on here. So I'm just building in layers. Just building in layers. I may not use this anymore. I may just do this. I don't mind having that. And then I think this goes in the center. This has more pink in it. Then I have a little tiny butterfly that I can add up here. Or on here. Oh, maybe on here. Descending to the flower baby. Yeah. All right, I'm going to glue these together. So I'm going to, this was something I had already done for another time. I had made two, and so I get to use it again. Now I'm going to glue it down on the card, and I'm going to glue it like this. So I didn't really need to use a really nice designer series paper on here. I'm just realizing because I'm covering it up. However, it just goes to show you that You know, and you can do anything on here. You don't need a big square. You could do a circle. You could do an oval. But just make sure that you glue it on this bottom half and not the top, or you're not going to get that easel card with a twist. So I'm just going to put glue on here. And I'm going to take this and just lay it down. And there's your easel card. So I'm going to put another sentiment here. The same on this one. So even if I had used the vegetables, there wouldn't have been, I wouldn't have seen a lot of it. And there's this one. And it goes like this. So let's make the little sentiment that will go on here. And I'm just going to cut this. So I'm just going to cut this. This is working really nicely. So this piece measures, so I'll show you how to mat something. This piece measures not quite 3/4, but over 3/4. So it would be 3 7/8. So if I make this an inch, turn it around this way so I can hold it better. Make this an inch. Yep, that's perfect. So then this is, so I'm going to show you how I measure it. This is 2.5. So then I'm going to make this strip 2 3/4. Well, that's not what I was looking for. 1 3/4. Oh, which is what I had done. This is, yeah, 2 1/4. That's what I want. All right, so I'll do another one at 2 1/4. Lift this up. 2 1/4. There we go. This is not a waste, not a waste at all. So see how that fits on there nicely? All right, I think I'll flip that over. And did I not cut 2 pieces of the orange? I thought I did, but I can't find the other one. So I've got my 2 pieces ready. I'm going to stamp on one, the sentiment, "You are an inspiration." So this will go for a true friend. You are an inspiration. I think anybody would love to get that card. Beautiful. And this one is going to say best wishes, because babies are a blessing. Best wishes. So I'm just stamp that. Oh, the S did not get enough ink. There we go. Oh, I love that font. It's a beautiful font. Then I'm going to glue these onto the orange pieces. Where's my second piece? Let's get these glued on. Now I'm going to get some foam adhesives and put that on the back, because we need to to lift this up so that the easel would work. So I'm going to place this like this, and I'm going to put this up, and where do I want this? Maybe like this between the houses. So that will sit like that. And there's an easel card done. I just need to lift this so it's up a bit like that. There we go. Okay, so there's one done. Let's get this one done. If I didn't lift it up, it would just it wouldn't catch as nice as if you have the foam dots. Babies are a blessing. Best wishes. Now I'm going to add some gems. I've got some of these nice gems that will go beautifully. We could dress up with the blue. So let me put one up here. That ties everything in nicely. Put one down here. Like this. Okay, and then this one. I'm going to go with the brown. There we go. You can add ribbon to it if you want. I think I'm just going to finish there. There we go. Easel card with a twist. So it'll fold flat and it will go into this envelope. It'll fit in there perfectly. See that? Oh, let me just maybe do it this way, because this is sticking over. Oh, so that's what you've got to be careful about. When that lays flat, you don't want this sticking up too much. So I've glued that down. I think I'll be okay in that I can still fold it down. I'll just make another fold. I'll just make another fold like this. And it fits in. So yeah, just be careful how high that circle is going to be. I think I should, that's a lesson for me and for you guys to, so there we go, an easel card. That's going to look so pretty sitting up on a mantle. You could write inside here because that's not going to show at all. You could put white paper there or write right on the card. And there we go, my friends. So there you have it, folks, an easel card with a twist. And you know what? There was a few twists in my card making as well, but we worked it out and we got two beautiful cards that will sit so. So there we have it, folks. Fun Fold Friday, an easel card with a twist. Isn't that just adorable? That would look so beautiful displayed in any home. Just so beautifully on someone's credenza or mantle. So that was so much fun, even though I had a few twists myself while making the card and just showing you, hey, that's not so bad, just flip it around and then you've got it right. Or the same as the paper that I used on the front, you don't really see a lot of it. So I could have just avoided not having that paper on there at all, or there is a little bit there, or I could have had those vegetables on there and not cut another square into a triangle or whatever. So it's all a learning curve as well. But beautiful, beautiful cards to send to someone and share kindness one card at a time.